So, I was thinking about this earlier today. Matthew Williams posted a video, and I didn't watch the video, I just saw the title. I gotta watch the video. It's about people being lemmings, or sheeple, or whatever. Followers. My mom told me this when I was a kid. She said, if you march to the beat of your own drummer, you will always march alone. And she meant that in a good way, and also as a warning. Because I was different as a kid. I was a Jehovah's Witness growing up, and nobody else was in my community. And so I was the weird one who didn't celebrate stuff. Sucked. So I was always kind of on the outside. And then the way I spoke, I had the Somerville accent. I was in Lynn, and so I didn't fit in quite there. The kids, they had a feel, and they knew. And then the other one was I had people who weren't white in my family, and that was unusual back then. So once they found out that I was part of that family, they treated me different. So I guess I've always had kind of the outsider's perspective. Oops, let's wait for this car to go by. I don't know why I worry at those intersections. I can just hit it, shit it, and get it, right? Anyway. So I don't consider myself a lemming necessarily, but this dichotomy that people have between the good people who are independent thinkers and common sense thinkers, and then the bad people, the sheeple, the lemmings, the people who don't think, the dumb ones. I don't know if that dichotomy is necessarily true. I think it's like Burt Reynolds said in Smokey and the Bandit. How smart or how dumb you are depends on where you're standing on the map. If you're standing in your hometown, oh, you're brilliant. Or if you're at your job that you've been doing forever, you're brilliant. Like Stephen Hawking, if, you know, his ailments and disabilities aside, he's the most brilliant physicist or whatever cosmologist in the history of mankind, so they say. But I bet you he'd have trouble changing a tire, and he definitely wouldn't be able to change an alternator very easily, strip down a car, build a house, or teach English as a second language. Not saying I'm better than him, just because I'm not, but everybody's smart in their own ways, and they're dumb in their own ways. So I don't know if there's necessarily sheeple. I just think it's a way of otherizing people. You don't believe what I believe, so you're one of the sheeple. I don't think Matthew Williams is saying that. It made me think of this idea of us versus them, and that whole us versus them thing. I just don't like it. It's too easy. It's too convenient. And then this other notion, I don't know if you guys have this too, but when I was a kid growing up, I had this weird kind of subconscious idea, I guess, that I was kind of like the star of the movie. Maybe because I watched a lot of TV and movies when I was a kid, but I always thought of myself as the star. And as other people, they were kind of like the main cast, and then you had the background people, or the ones who would die early in the movie, or they would fail, or whatever, they'd be gone. And there were all these foreshadowings that, you know, this one's not going to make it, that one's not going to make it. And so I kind of thought about life that way. You know, I never wanted to be one of those side characters that was forgotten by the wayside, that wasn't a hero of some kind. And then I went to Fiji, and that mentality it just kind of evaporated, I guess. It became meaningless, irrelevant, and in a way, I was happy to be out of that mindset. I wasn't the hero of the movie. I wasn't the sidekick of the hero guy. I wasn't even a background character. I'm not in the movie. There is no movie. I'm just a person, you know. I'm just a person who's alive and living life. And ain't nothing wrong with that. So that was my little thought after watching or seeing the title that Matthew Williams posted. I mean, I do understand how groupthink is a danger, definitely a danger. When you have people who don't pay attention to their surroundings for whatever reason. It's not because they're stupid. It's just you get into a habit, and these things happen. That's how muggings happen and whatnots. Uh-oh, watch out, truck. Thank you very much. You know, there are those who say, oh, I would never live in a suburban environment. Oh, look at all that gravel. Ugh. I wouldn't want to be in one of those generic American places. I have to be different. Well, go ahead, be different. But don't shit on everybody who's doing stuff that you look down on. You know, I could equally be an ignorant, willfully ignorant and rude person and say, you know, look at those idiots living up in the mountains or out in the country, farming on the land and hunting for their food. I mean, ain't you ever heard of a supermarket or a mall? For fuck's sake. Well, pardon my French, but I could say that. But I don't. They choose to live that way, and God bless them. I think that's great. I choose to have my consumerist, boring life, living in a semi-suburbs, and I'm happy with it. As long as you're happy, that's all that really matters. If you're not happy, then, you know, maybe there's something you could do to get happy. That's another thing. These people who live in a place that's just terrible, and they stay there generation after generation, and it's just terrible. You know you can leave, right? And they complain about it endlessly. Oh, this place is so terrible. This and that and the other. Well, move. I know it's hard. I know it's hard to move because everything's new and different and scary, and you got to start over again. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. I know. And what if you don't like it where you move? I know. Some people don't want to take the chance. Okay. I took the chance a couple times. A few times. Very happy with the results. As I ride along here in rural North Carolina. Semi-rural now. It used to be more rural. Now it's more semi. Anyway, this is my Kaylee 7 as I ride off into the sunset. I bid you well. Hope you're doing alright. Thank you for listening to me ramble on about nothing. And I'll talk to you later.